behind you instead of in front of you.
Prosecution, you may start. You may deliver your opening statement.
To honorable jury, honorable judge, and ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to prosecute this person, Leopold II, the King of Belgium. We are charging Leopold II with the crime against humanity of enslavement. Leopold II is a selfish, mean, cruel person who only cared about his own benefit. He did a lot of things that are unacceptable and inhuman. All those incidents could have been avoided if it wasn't for his greed. He's a man that seems normal. No, even he was perfect. He was born in a royal family. He's healthy and wealthy. But who knew he was a devil? He tortured, raped, killed many Congolese, butchered his slaves. He brought Congolese happy life and turned the Congo to a deathbed. He even made millions of smiles into sadness.
Defense, you may deliver your opening statement.
The name of the prosecuted is Leopold II, and he is charged of the ICC charge of crime against humanity and slavery. But first, let's define the word slave. According to the Collins English Dictionary, to be a slave is to be legal property of another and is forced to obey them. And Leopold did not force them to obey them, he tricked them into offering their word to him. The two factors of being a slave is that you are property and you are forced to work for someone. But Leopold's situation does not match any of those two factors. So what he did was technically isn't really enslavement. Secondly, it wasn't even Leopold who tricked the illiterate natives to sign the treaty. It was Henry Morton Stanley. Henry was sent to explore the Congo as his right-hand man, so he was the one who should be guilty. Henry was the one who was running everything in the Congo, mostly the exploration. The trip was 7,000 miles above the cost of many African lives. He killed Africans without hesitation, even quoted, "killing Africans like monkeys," from Sir Richard Francis Burton. Allegedly, he even cut off the dog's tail and feeding it back to the dog after it was cooked. And more supporting evidence is that Leopold did not even set foot on Congo. For all the 23 years he ruled Congo, he did not set foot there. Almost all of it was handled by Henry, and who also defended Congo for many years. At that time, all the 23 years that the Congo was owned by Leopold, he was at his palace in Belgium taking care of his 6 kids and ruling his people.
Prosecution, you may hand out your evidence. All of you.
Prosecution started not finding the back there. It's up here. Does everyone have their evidence? Thanks, Your Honor. judge. You can let them begin prosecution.
Yep. Prosecution, you may start with your evidence.
Leopold II was the king of the Belgium from 1885 to 1909. Leopold II was born in a wealthy family and grew up to be a wealthy man. He started to do business with other people. He was known as a capable businessman. But during the business time, he did bad things to his workers, which were his slaves. With him being the king of Belgium, Leopold became drunk with power. Leopold II became this greedy man who everyone was scared of and was scared to disobey. Jury, please turn to page 2 of your evidence book. Leopold II believed that for Belgium to be successful, they had to focus on colonization. In a letter that Leopold II sent to his brother in 1888, he wrote, "The country must be strong, prosperous, and have colonies of their own." Leopold II began the colonization progress by colonizing Congo in 1876. Leopold II hired Henry Morton Stanley in 1878 with the sole purpose to explore the colony in the region of Congo. It was reported that there were temples of ivory and rubber. When Leopold II found out the news, Leopold II was determined to make it profitable. Leopold II bought 2/3 of the Congo, forcing everyone that was there to work for him. If the people that were on the 2/3 of the land Leopold II bought didn't work, they would get punished really terribly. Leopold II colonized Central Africa and formed the Congo Free State because of the ivory at first. He wanted to trade ivory with other countries because ivory was luxurious commodity that lots of people would want to buy the ivory. In the beginning, the Congo people traded ivory with silk, beads, and brass rods. Eventually, the agents began seizing the ivory by force, killing all who resisted. Leopold II sold ivory for 150% of what it typically shipped. If the Congo people did not meet their quota for ivory, then they would get their hands and feet cut off. A priest called Achille Phoebus said he saw that there were dead bodies in the field, and the soldiers confirmed the number of dead bodies and hands they had in the bucket. When he was young, he saw that if the village did not get them enough rubber, the soldiers will take the natives away, and the natives will get killed by getting put into a net with stones in it. Eventually, they will be thrown into the river. He even saw that the soldiers brought native girls to rape her. Soldiers were scared of Leopold II. In page 6 of our evidence book, you can see that a soldier explained why he did what he did. He said, "Please don't take this part too seriously. They kill us if we don't bring enough rubber. The commissioner had promised us that if we have plenty of hands, he will shorten our service." In page 3 of the evidence book, you can see that in the book, King Leopold's soliloquy written by Mark Twain, you can see that the slaves were killed one by soldiers while being starved and treated terribly. This further proves how Leopold II didn't care about the slaves and only used them for his own benefit. Leopold II only used them to get as much as rubber and ivory as he can so that he can fulfill his own greed and become more powerful. Please turn to page 7 of the evidence book. Leopold II tortured them, killed them, and even raped some of them if they didn't collect enough rubber. The slaves got punished really badly, and some even got killed. Leopold II wanted rubber and ivory from the slaves. In order for Leopold II to get as much of rubber as he can, he purposely overworked the slaves. To get rubber, the slaves had to climb up trees to collect the rubber. Some slaves slipped from the trees and got hurt. Some slaves even died from slipping off the trees. Please turn to page 5 of the evidence book. Slaves that didn't meet their requirements were treated differently. For some slaves, the first time they don't collect enough rubber, their hands will get cut. The second time they don't collect enough rubber, their arms will get cut. The third time they don't collect enough rubber, their heads will get cut, which will ultimately cause their death. Other slaves, they will get whipped 25 times by a chip hop. In harsher cases, they get whipped 100 times. Their skin fell off as they got whipped, which ultimately caused some of their deaths. Please turn to page 6 of the evidence book. Leopold II started selling more rubber than he could harvest, making their tax levels nearly impossible. At first, the slaves were paid a little bit of money. It was an absurd amount of money considering the amount of work they did for Leopold II. But afterwards, Leopold II made collecting rubber from a tax, so the slaves don't even get paid. Basically, the slaves collected rubber for nothing except for their life. Life and death were on the line for the innocent slaves who did nothing wrong and didn't deserve the treatment they got. Please turn to page 4 of the evidence book. If women didn't collect enough rubber, they had waivers punishments. Women were often kidnapped. They will be imprisoned until they collect enough rubber for them to go back to their homes. Their husbands had to buy them back. For the husbands to buy back their wives, they had to give up their livestock in order to get their wives back. Leopold II ultimately killed about 10 to 15 million slaves. 10 million slaves. Just think about that. Think about how terribly they were treated and how terrible their lives were. The innocent slaves, the innocent lives, all taken away by the man's greed.
Defense, you may deliver your evidence. Sorry, the prosecution for this. You may question your witness.
Who are you?
I'm Asal Walla, a father of a lovely daughter and a beautiful wife. I am also one of the witnesses of the psycho Leopold II, the King of Belgium, who treated us terribly and unfairly. He made us slaves, purposely overworked, and treated us like animals. I tried as much as I can until my hands started having blisters, but no. I cannot believe that much effort was not enough for Leopold II. Unbelievable. There are thousands more families out there like me sitting here thinking, why me?
How did Leopold II change your life?
Okay, so I never did slavery before, but I did, well, what I did was simple. I needed to gather up rubber, the main resource that Leopold II, the leader which I knew a little while later, needed. And of course, we don't get paid, and instead we get whipped and tortured or even killed for doing anything except gathering rubber. It was painful life afterwards. I was so tired that I got a little lazy and took a rest, but my worst nightmare came. I had a message sent to me that something has happened back at home, so I rushed back to my home, but the only thing I saw was two soldiers putting down to what seemed to be my daughter's hand and foot. I stood there speechless. I could not believe what I was seeing. My wife, my only daughter, dead before I can even see or talk to her. At this point, I don't know what to do next, but my mind disappeared from me. I can't stop thinking about what I witnessed, what Leopold did to my family. My life was ruined.
How did Leopold II make you feel when he killed your loved ones?
So after the disaster, I couldn't think straight. Couldn't even know what was happening. Don't know if I should live anymore. But I decided to move on as a slave.
What do you think about Leopold II?
He's a greedy and a selfish person, in my opinion.
Defense, you may cross-examine your witness.
What is your name?
I'm Salvo.
What is your contribution to Congo? Your contribution to Congo. So you're not a worker?
I am a slave.
Did your officers sell or trade workers?
Yeah.
If so, who is your officer?
I don't have
Have you ever met Leopold?
I've seen him in college, but he never talked to me.
How is your relationship with Henry? Are you, which part of the Congo are you from?
Well, I lived near the shore.
Are you aware that not only Belgium is owning Congo, there are also other countries that own Congo through a geographic conference, such as Portuguese and France? So which part of the Congo, you have to be so specific about which part of the Congo you're living at, so I can know which country ruled you. So if you don't know where they are, I would assume that you're lying.
We don't have maps back then, so I don't know.
I'm pretty sure, okay? I'm pretty sure there are maps in.
Well, witness, you may return to your seat. Defense, you may deliver your evidence. You may deliver your evidence.
The prosecution team has put the name Leopold in front of all of their facts. But this is just not true. Leopold isn't guilty. In fact, we think the guilty one is Henry. In fact, we know Henry is the one that's guilty. Henry Morton Stanley was hired by Leopold to go to Congo and be in charge in Congo. He was told to establish a trade system in Congo, as Congo was rich of rubber, which had high demand at the time. Leopold has never set foot at Congo once, and he just sent Stanley to be in charge of Leopold's men in Congo. In fact, in one of Stanley's trips to Congo, Richard Francis Burton, who was with Stanley in Congo, stated that Stanley shoots Africans as if they were monkeys. Just from what I said in the last minute could prove Leopold not guilty. Stanley treated those who were not the same color or were from the same place as if they were an entire separate species. In fact, even he had a personal slave whom he captured from Congo named Kalubu. According to BBC.com, Henry Morton Stanley used brutal means that included the widespread use of forced labor to build paths and roads in Congo. In other words, he used the Congolese as slaves. Furthermore, he allegedly cut off a dog's tail, cooked it, and fed it back to the dog. Imagine someone cutting a limb, cooking it, and making you eat it. This is what he did to the dog. It is, however, even more scary when you consider that he has destroyed 28 large towns, which, guess what, was written by himself on the paper. Someone has destroyed hundreds of homes and wrote it as if it was an achievement, like something he was proud of doing. Now let's imagine a possibility. Maybe Leopold told Henry Morton Stanley to do these actions, to destroy these towns. Well, how? There were no phones, no emails, nothing. The earliest phones were invented in 1920 to 1930, which was over 10 years after Leopold died. In addition, could you really believe that a country like Congo would have a telephone service? The only way they could communicate long distances like Belgium and Congo was things like letters. With distances so large, a message could take months to reach Belgium to Congo, or vice versa. So to take over a large part of Congo, Stanley would have to patiently wait months to get an instruction to take that land. So maybe Leopold was there to instruct them. But remember, Leopold has never set foot in Congo, not once in his life. When Leopold hired Stanley after reading about his previous adventures in Congo, he wanted Stanley to help him dig into the riches of Congo. At first, Stanley declined Leopold, but later decided he was ready and met with Leopold's commissioners to discuss what they were going to do. At the meeting, Stanley suspiciously gave very little information about what he was going to do. He did mention to do something scientific or commercial in the in the basin, but nothing else. They met later with other countries in Europe to discuss about Congo. The other countries trusted Stanley to successfully start construction in Congo, but nothing about using native people were talked about.
Yes, you may question or
Can you introduce yourself?
My name is Leopold II. I am the King of Belgium and also the owner of Congo Free State. I was raised as a king throughout my childhood. I learned how to shoot, ride horses, and also participate in country ceremonies. I was also a soft ruler, and I never pressured my government officials.
How was your relationship with the government?
Most of the power was controlled by the electors and the prime minister. I was just a parliament. I was just an icon, but not the person who operated the government.
So why did you create Congo Free State?
Belgium was a young and small country who needed financial boost. Congo Free State helped Belgium build defenses and also improve financial problems. I am protecting my people of Belgium from foreign threats such as Germany. I am standing up to my responsibility as a king to protect my citizens.
How did you get the appropriation of Congo?
I held a geographic conference in Congo. In Brussels. During the conference, I got the appropriation of Congo and also discussed about the Arab slave traders in Congo. I helped the natives a favor by banishing the traders away from the land.
What is your contribution in the development of Congo Free State?
I have never been to Congo before, so most of the development was made by Henry Morton Stanley and the other officers that were dispatched to the area.
What is your relationship with the explorer Henry Morton Stanley?
Henry Morton Stanley was only an explorer that I hired. I did not know him until I read his book, Through the Dark Continent, explaining his explorations in Africa.
How much did you know about the situation in Congo?
Since distance between Belgium and Congo are so far apart, information was hard to exchange during these years. I do not have control, nor do I have information of the situation in Congo.
How much did you know of Henry Morton?
Not much was known about him. I only knew he made African expeditions close to Congo, so I hired him as my explorer.
That's it.
prosecution, you may cross-examine the witness.
Do you have questions for him?
Yes. What was the worst torture you did to people?
I'm not sure what you're talking about. Most of the development was in Congo was made by Henry Morton Stanley the explorer.
Why did you need so much rubber and ivory?
It was not much rubber and ivory. It was just enough money to help Belgium on defenses and also financial problems.
Do you feel bad for the people that you killed?
I'm not sure what you mean by killed. I only collect resources from Congo, and most of the development of Congo Free State was made by Henry Morton Stanley.
What do you think about yourself?
I am a good king that protected my citizens in Belgium.
Where did you hire Henry Morton Stanley?
Where?
Yes.
In my
Please.
in my palace in Brussels. I hired him. I read his book, as he is my explorer.
Which book was that?
Through the Dark Continent.
What was the things in it?
About Henry, about Henry Morton Stanley's explorations in Congo.
When did he go to Congo?
When?
Yes.
I'm not sure.
How did you read? You say you read that book, but why do you know? Why don't you know? When did he go?
Oh, you mean in the book?
Yes.
I just know. No, because it's.
You have to read that.
Yeah, I know. It's in the book. What do you mean?
So when was it? 1898 or 1880?
It's just before Congo Free State.
When was before Congo Free State?
Congo Free State was. It's about 1870.
Are you sure?
It's just before Congo Free State.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Return to your seat. Prosecution. Silence.
She only asked. But
Prosecution, you may deliver your closing statement.
I know.
she only asked when did you read the book?
No, she asked.
After listening to all the evidence provided in the trial, you, the jury, should truly know that Leopold II is really the one that is guilty, not Henry Morton Stanley. Leopold II hired Henry Morton Stanley in 1878 with the sole purpose to explore the economy in the region of Congo. This proves that it is not Henry Morton Stanley who started this, but it is Leopold II. Leopold II hired him to do his own dirty work that he couldn't accomplish by himself. If the people hired by Leopold II did not do their job, they would be threatened and maybe even killed. There were phones at the time, you're right. But there are other ways that they could have communicated. They wrote letters to each other. How can Henry Morton Stanley be the one that is guilty when he is hired by Leopold II? How can he be the one that is guilty when he was threatened by Leopold II and was told what to do? Just think about that. It's common sense. Before Leopold II conquered the Congo, the Congolese lives were great. They lived happily and were treated fairly. Not only did Leopold II buy and enslave 2/3 of the Congo, Leopold II treated the slaves terribly and even killed about 10 million Congolese. Henry Morton Stanley is just guilty by association. Leopold II's crime against humanity of enslavement has never been taken seriously. This is the time where you can really take it seriously and put matters in your own hands. What you have witnessed today is an act of desperation from the defense team. We have presented all the evidence to prove to you that Leopold II is the one that is guilty and not Henry Morton Stanley. Now, you can either decide to prosecute him or to defend him. If you choose to defend him, it is a decision that I know you will regret for the rest of your lives. Thank you for your attention.
Defense, you may deliver your closing statement.
Wow, everything.
Yeah, silence. Wait.
Most of the prosecution evidence have the name Leopold, but if we look closely, Leopold did nothing that the evidence charged him of. He was just the Parliament of Congo Free State, not the one developing or operating it. He is the one blamed for all the things he had not done. And in fact, Henry Morton Stanley is the one that's guilty. Henry Morton Stanley was the one in charge, and the one who controlled and completely brutalized the Congolese into profiting himself, killing 10 million Congolese, dropping the population of the entire state by a huge margin. He tortured them, enslaved them. Leopold never set foot in Congo either. With limited communication available at the time, orders and torturing people would have been very difficult if sending a letter could take months. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, do you want the wrong person to be charged with the crime? Leopold is not guilty, and the guilty one is Henry Morton Stanley. But before we end this closing statement, let's have a look at the evidence of the prosecution team. Most of their major sources is from Mark Twain. Is this source valid? I mean, Mark Twain is a comedic person. He liked writing funny stories and wrote comedic novels that are popular due to their comedic value. Members of the jury, could you trust a person who is known for his jokes? and to be author of all the evidence. Please think about this when deciding if Leopold is guilty or not. Actually, before we end, we would like to point out that their witness blatantly lied. They have stated that Leopold was seen in Congo, but Leopold has never set foot in Congo. The witness was lying. Is this really reliable? The witness was unsure of what part of Congo he is from. Congo is also ruled by Portugal, France, and Switzerland, and other part of Europe. So what the witness saw or did would not be trustworthy. So clearly that isn't a trustworthy witness.
You cannot.